All right. Pause that. And I closed the whole thing trying to pause it. Let's see. We got to see all chat messages. All right. So hello everybody, it's T with Teaquilts. Today is Wednesday, October 29th, 2025. It is 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're here with live chat. We'll be here for 1 hour. On Saturdays, I'm also live 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central Standard Time for live sew and chat. So today I'm going to just show you a few things. I took my machine to the shop. I'll talk about that. What I bought while I was waiting. And also I'm going to start cleaning. I don't have to do a whole lot of cleaning. I oiled it last Saturday, so I'm not going to re-oil it because I just oiled it. I did a little bit of sewing on the t-shirt quilt, so I just want to make sure it's clean down in the bobbin. I had cleaned everything, so I didn't feel like I was going to have a lot to do. So, yeah, that's what we're working on today. Let's see who's in the chat. We got Sue GSD. We missed you Saturday. She says we got 258 days until retreat and family reunion 2026. Still don't have reliable internet. We'll try to watch. So, okay. So that's what she's having problems with her internet. Also, we have Darcy Sevelius here reminding you all, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. If you're not able to comment in the chat box, the live chat box, not comment on the video, but comment in the live chat box, then that means you're not a subscriber. So please subscribe and then hit the notification bell so you'll be live when I do give notifications and things like that. Next week, I'm going to try to get the rest of the retreat videos uploaded. My friend has sent me everything. I have been busy with other things, so I haven't had a chance to do that. But I do plan to get those videos uploaded. We only uploaded day 1. I have day 2 through 5, maybe even a departure day where I have to see what she sent. Yeah, and also if you're I'm blocking. Also, if you're not on if you are on Facebook and you're not a member of Teaquilts LLC, also request to join that group. But make sure that you click out and then click back in so it'll show you the 4 membership questions, because you won't be approved unless you answer those 4 questions. So thank you, Darcy, for the information. Zandra Odom is here. Tinanya Edwards. Dee Branson saying her rent is paid. That means she has already hit the thumbs up button. Have you? If not, hit the thumbs up button for me, please. I'd really would appreciate it. Vivian Calvy's here. Francis Jackson. Linda the RSL lady. Let's see. Wanda Jamerson. Judy Smith. Suzette Peterkin Denton. Claudette Hall. Bonita Nance. Patricia Priest, C-Rax, Remo JS, also saying to support the queen of quilting and education. Damali J is here. Bonita, I said Bonita. Maria Nunez, or Nunez, I don't know how you pronounce that. Nunez is what I think it is. She's saying hello to everybody. Welcome to the chat. I appreciate you commenting with us tonight. CJR Creations is here. Judy said that one. Phyllis G is here. Kevin the Quilter is here. He's in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The assistant is here. Sheila Willis is here. Holly Duvall. Let's see. Michelle the Quilter. Deborah Sims Brown. Diane McCoy. Anita Baker is here. Betsy Layton. Janice Smith. T checking in. Did you get the book? I got the book today or yesterday. My husband went to the post office yesterday. I'm sorry. It came yesterday. Thinking of the book, Janice started sending me her mailing address, and all I got was some numbers, the address numbers. I didn't get no street, city, state, or zip. I've responded back to emails. We probably are on email number 7 by now, trying to get an address from people that have not submitted. I think I still have Rhonda Barlow James and Melissa LePage. So I'm still, 3 people still haven't gotten their books at this point. Janice, I can't remember how you paid me, because I was going to send you back the money for the shipping. I don't know if you sent a check or you pay electronically. Janice Miller said her. Donna Taylor says hi from Oklahoma City. Hello, welcome. That is Norma's home state. Joyce Sterling also here saying hello to everybody. And Tony Pressure, welcome to the chat as well, Tony. Appreciate you commenting as well. So I took my Bernina to the shop. Now we have plenty of Bernina dealers in St. Louis metropolitan area, which means I can go like a 50-mile radius into Illinois, Missouri, and I've got plenty of Bernina dealers. I have dealt with 2 as far as getting my machine service, and I just have been having some little tweak problems with it, and so it got to the point where I wasn't enjoying sewing on Bernina anymore. So last year I took my machine 2.5-hour drive into southern Missouri to get my machine worked on. And I did like the work, so I ended up taking it back to there. So I knew it was going to take me a whole day to do that, because it's 2.5 hours there, 2.5 hours back, and then you have to wait, and it takes 2 to 3 hours for them to fix your machine. So ever since retreat, I've been busy, but I have not sewn on my Bernina. I've been sewing on the Juki the entire time since coming back from retreat, and that way I knew that if I had put that Bernina up here, it would have never made it back to the shop. So I did that. Let's just go ahead and talk about this Bernina. So I felt like I didn't have any problems with my Bernina. However, I never cut my machine on from bringing it back from the shop. And then when I got there, they had like really big gravel rocks for parking. And so I had my 2-tow bag, so I was pulling it across because the Bernina's are 40 plus pounds, right? And when they got it into the shop, they said I was having some screen issues. Now, I've never had any screen issues with my Bernina. And it had to do with the cord that connects your screen to the motherboard. And they said that I needed to have that replaced. And I asked them, I said, why would that need to be replaced if my machine wasn't having a problem? And they said, when they go inside, because I wasn't there. I was in the neighborhood, but I didn't stay in the shop. And so he said, and nobody called me to tell me that I was having, I think it was $90 added on to my bill. And so I'm like, why is my bill higher? You know, because nobody even explaining anything. They just having me check out. I'm like, I need to know what $90 is for. And so it had flat wire, and I'm like, what is that? And then he was proceeded to tell me that when it was opened up, that apparently the wires had a loose connection, like they were coming apart, like they're soldered in, and that they were pulling apart from the solder and all of that. And apparently it needed to be replaced, so they ended up replacing that. And then I go, well, what would cause that? Because I wasn't having any problems with my machine, so I didn't have that come on. Now, I am in the Bernina Facebook group, and I see a lot of people having screen issues, and I've never had a screen issue. So now I asked him what causes that, and now I know what causes the screen issue on Berninas. Now, I'm going to tell you, if it could happen to a Bernina, I think Bernina must be more sensitive than some of the other brands. It could happen to any of your computerized monitors. What I think happened to my screen is when I drug it across those rocks to take it into the shop, because that machine was sewing just fine at retreat. And when it came into the house, all we did was took it out of my car and brought it straight into the house. We have nothing to roll it over. Also, two-toe bags say that you can go down curbs, and it does. I can go down steps. I can go down curb. I just pull up the first steps, and the back wheels will take things down. I'm telling you that if you have your machine in any type of rolling bag, whether it's insulated or not, pick your bag up no matter how heavy your machine is, because you're risking damaging the connections to your motherboard. And it's not just as simple as soldering wires back. You've got to get the replacement part because it's coming out of the end that's onto the flat wire. So go figure. So I'm just letting you all know, be careful with your machines. Pick your machines up when you're going on gravel, if you're going up and down steps. I normally always take it up the steps, but sometimes I might plop it down the steps. It just depends on how I'm feeling that day, and especially if it's one of my manual machines, I really don't care as much. But anything with computers, I'm just here to tell you guys to be careful with your bags, because there is nothing that I've done to that machine other than dragging it across the parking lot of their place, okay? So from now on, I will be backing in to their thing, and then all I did, I pulled in headwise. I wasn't thinking, and so all I did was drug it from the back of my SUV to the curb of the building. So the length of my car is what I drug that case, and then that screen was bad. So just be aware, guys, okay? Especially if you got a Bernina. I see it in the group all the time, and I am going to go in there and mention it to people, but I just haven't had time to go into the Bernina group yet. We got Celeste here, Linda Parrish, Jacqueline Mason, Minnie Dula. We got Ray Mahone, Kim R. Jester Creative Space is here. And Darcy says, no travel on gravel. That's a good slogan. Good advice, T. I am not careful with mine. I drag it. See, and I used to do that, especially when it was light. I would drag it down 2 steps, like my baby lock. I would drag that sucker down 2 steps, my Singer. But for some reason, the Bernina was always heavier, so I always picked it up to take it down. But like I'm telling you, I didn't even go that far on the, and I mean, these were bigger gravel rocks. I'm not kidding you. They were like this big. So some of the rocks were big. They were not your paving gravel. So if you just need to be careful. I'm just telling you, because there was nothing wrong with my machine. Claudette sewed on that machine all week and didn't say anything was wrong with my machine when I gave it to her. When y'all see me sewing on it every day, y'all know if my screen was bad, I would have mentioned it to you all, right? Yeah. Nothing. That's all I did was drug it over that. So they told me that I was going to have a 2 to 3 hour wait. Now, this place is also a quilt shop. They do mostly classes and kits for their classes. They don't sell a whole lot, but I try to just support the store anyway. And so I ended up buying a new bottle. I'm going to put my Bernina oil. I use this bottle for my long arm, and that's what it really is a long arm oiling bottle. And I do have another one from my Bernina, but sometimes when I'm traveling, I take one out and never get it back in here. But what I like about this is that it has a long sprout, and then it goes all the way up to the top, because I use this to oil into those ports on the Bernina. This would really be good on this Janome too. But I got this so that I could have another Bernina oil bottle at home if I take the one that's in my travel away. So, did it come out? It didn't sit back in here, right? I guess that means it's going to be really good suction when I put the oil in here. It shouldn't leak. So yeah, so I ended up getting a new oil bottle. I've had this, and I thought these were made by Gamble, but they had them there. So apparently whoever makes them for Gamma is selling them elsewhere. But this was $6 for just this oil bottle. No oil. So I'm just going to sit that up there so it'll be in place. And then the only other thing that I bought from them was some fat quarters. They had $3 fat quarters. And they had all Benartex fat quarters. So they had the Fossil Fern line. So I just bought a few of these Fossil Fern fat quarters. My lighting is so weird today. So I bought 7. And I got Paige, who decided to come in here. First I was disturbing her. Now she back in here trying to sleep. So she's snoring if you hear anything. For those that don't know, Paige is a dog. Right there. So I got those 7 fat quarters. So instead of sitting at the shop, I started going to shops in the area. I knew of one store in the area. So, but instead of me searching for that store, I put in quilt shops near me. And then it took me to the store that I wanted to go to. But then I also found a couple new ones, although I only went to one. I didn't go to the other. The store that I knew about was called Stover. It was in Stover, Missouri. And it was called Stover Quality Quilting. And they mostly long-arm quilt for people, but they have a quilt store as well. And sometimes they have stuff that's cheaper than other places, but I didn't find anything that was reasonably priced. And I'm wondering if when we went on Shop Hop, maybe they had certain thing on sale. But anyway, this was in the clearance section, and it's a panel, instruments of peace, instrument of your peace. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let there be love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O divine master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, not so much as to be understood as to understand, not so much to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned. It is in dying that we awake to eternal life. And I thought, I got so many people that would probably love this panel. And it was in the clearance section for $5. So I got that. It's 24 inches by 42. So it's 2/3 yard panel. And then, of all things, they had a quilt hanging there that I really liked the quilt, but I didn't like all their fabrics. And so what I did was I ended up buying the kit because it was just cheaper and you get the yardage. This is from the All Missouri Shop Hop. I had already bought the Missouri panel right here, but I thought, well, I can always use the panel on the back. But I like their layout for the quilt. I just didn't like their fabric. So I bought that. And then to replace this light fabric here, because I knew I didn't like that. I need more color. I bought this fabric, which is just, I think it's like of the United States. Could be. Like it's like outlining of things, but I don't know if it's true to the United States. It doesn't really matter. I know what it looks like. And then so I bought that. And then the kit was 40% off. Let's see if it's got a price on here, because it wasn't marked and I wasn't going to buy it at first. And then she says, I'll give you 40% off. So if it was $100, then I paid $60 for this kit. The fabric was also 40% off. $13 a yard, whatever 40% of that is. I'm not doing calculations today. So then, as I was going to this quilt store that I knew about, I came across another quilt shop called New Style. Let's see. I want to make sure we get these people's names right. See if it's on this receipt. Thank you, receipt. Come again. No names on here, but I thought I got her business card. Yep, here it is. So it's the New Style Quilt Shop. And then when I saw the New Style Quilt Shop, I'm like, maybe this might be an area that we can come to do shop hop. So it's not set in stone, but I think I have a plan if we do decide to do that, but we also want to check another route of shops that we might want to do. So I'm not saying that we're gonna go back, but I do have information that I know at one of these Teaquilts retreats we're gonna be going to this shop for sure. So I bought some things from this shop. I wasn't really gonna buy any fabric. And so I just said I'll buy a pattern. So I had already had this pattern for the go-to-market bag. It's nothing fantastic about it. It was just that it was really, really big. And I was like, I could have sat there and figured out the sizes, but I decided not to. And then instead of fabric straps, they did this nice thing with webbing. So I thought, I could do that too. So I took a picture of it, but it's not on the pattern like that. But I will be using webbing in the way that they did it with the webbing. So I said for that, I can go ahead and just buy the pattern. The pattern was $14. The go-to-market bag by Black Cat Creations. Then I went into they had a room that was like all patterns, and then they had jackets, and then all materials to make bags and clothing. And so they had a lot of buttons. I got one button not in here. Hopefully it's in the bag. I got a lot of buttons not in this bag. So I guess what I'm going to have to do is go out to my car and find my buttons, because I should have 3 of every button. And I don't have it. So I should have 3 of every button. And I thought I bought black too. So it's a lot of buttons that fell out this bag in my car. And if they're not in my car, I'll be calling her. So yeah, I got purple squares. And they had larger squares and larger circles, but I didn't want them any bigger than this. This is pretty big. Put it in the palm of my hand. It's like for those jackets where you might want 1, 2, or 3 buttons max. So I wasn't sure what I was going to do with them. They were $2.50 a button. I've been places where they've been more than that a button. So I ended up just buying 3 squares of purple, 3 squares of red. Although this is like a burgundy red, because this is red. So burgundy red. They didn't have true red. I bought 3 of brown. And I bought 3 black. I think I had to get the blackened squares. So I said brown. And then I also bought this kind of leafy pearl drop type shape. I bought 3 of those in gray, because they didn't have any circles or squares in gray. So that lets me know I'm going to leave this bag here, because it's not going anywhere until I find those buttons. And I'm going to put this in there. But they got to be in my car if they're not in this bag. And I thought I took everything out of this bag. So let me check and make sure they're not in the bottom of this bag. Dorsey's reminding you guys to hit the thumbs up button if you haven't. And she says Merle Norman Cosmetics. It's cosmetics. Does not have a quilt shop, Bonita. That's what the lady at the shop had. So maybe they had some connections and got some bags from her. I have no idea, but that's what she put all my buttons in. But this is her bag from the New Style store that I was just talking about. So that's the pattern. They had a section that had $2 fat quarters. I didn't find anything I liked, but I did kind of like this collage type It looks like it could be scrapbooking for me, where you have some text you stamp on and then some symbols over the top, things like that. So I just got that. It kind of reminds me of, what's his name? And there is no salvage on this. So I don't even know if this is a true fat quarter because it doesn't even have salvage. Yes, I do. I see it. It's folded different. Tim Holtz. It just reminds me of Tim Holtz, but it also reminds me of scrapbooking. So that's why I got that. And then I thought I did not really necessarily like the background fabric on the kit either. And then when I got to the next quilt shop, she had this in the neutral, and they didn't have this at the shop where I bought the kit. Otherwise, I would have bought it from there. But they both had the prices at 40% off, because they were only a half mile between each other. Like I said, I saw the one shop going to the next shop. But I did search for quilt shops near me, but I was like, oh, I don't know nothing about that. And the new style quilt shop was not open when I did the All Missouri State Shop Hop. Was that in 2001 or 2021 or 2022? I can't remember what year, but that shop wasn't open at that time. Hi, Paula. Hi, Louis Efford. Hi, Claudette Hall. I love the music fabric fat quarter. That's what it also reminded me of, was like music symbols, but I wasn't really sure because I'm like, is it just a fleur-de-lis? And so, but I'm like, you know what? I'm getting it anyway. So yeah, hi, Helena Marie Carter. Welcome to the chat. Thank you, Kevin. He said it was 2022 that we did it was the first all Missouri shop hop. We only had 70 shops at that time. And I hit all 70 of them by myself. All right. So what's the next thing I want to show y'all? Oh, I want to talk about the question that I put on Facebook this week. So last time we talked about the features of a sewing machine that we like. And so this time I asked people to just select one brand. And so I had 122 people that voted. I was shocked by this, by the answers. I was shocked that the number one brand from the 122 people that did vote it was Brother. 19%. I was shocked. Okay. That is crazy. So then next was Juki at 18%. 14% was Janome. 12% was Burnett. I grouped them together. 11% was Baby Lock and Tide with Husqvarna Viking for 11%. And 4% was Foff and Singer. Now the Foff kind of surprised me that it was so low. And Singer surprised me that it had any votes at all. So I was really shocked. And then 2% was Elna. 1% was Kenmore. So yeah, so I was just going on the different brands and not necessarily like features of anything, but just some people were just brand based. I did vote for Bernina, but the only reason I voted for Bernina was because it has all the features that I like. And it has that super extra large bobbin. I'm not necessarily a super fast speed sewer. So the Juki, which came in second by 2 votes. The Juki came in second because people like the speed of sewing. And so I thought that was really cool. But I was really shocked by these results. No, shocked because Brother actually came in first. By those 2 votes. I couldn't believe that. I was like, what? Brother? I have the Brother PQ 1500, I guess, SL, whatever that is, TL or whatever. I can't even remember all that stuff. It's too much. No, that's the Juki with the TL. So the brother is PQ something. TQ something. Y'all know what it is. I think the numbers are 1,500. I have just that one sewing machine that's very comparable to this Juki that I have here. And this Juki is the TL 2010Q. So it's very comparable to this, but I don't really have any, like, I've never had a brother computerized machine whatsoever. And so I was just shocked at how many people had voted for brother. That was just crazy to me. So let's see. Bonita says, my Charlotte Modern Quilt Guild, a community quilt, has been accepted into the 2026 MQG show in Raleigh, the Modern Quilt Guild show. And she says, I will be attending for one day to see it hanging. Anita says, I have 2 or 3 brother machines. And Remo says she loves the buttons. Me too. I said, I can't wait to make a jacket. Well, I got my jacket. That's another reason I got gray, because I have that jacket here, but I'm waiting to come across the fabric. And I also want to wash the jacket so that it can get soft. I haven't even done that. It's sitting in this room, but I haven't washed it. I want to get it washed, but I'm hoping that I come across the fabric so that I can change the binding on it. But that doesn't stop me from being able to wash it. I should just go ahead and wash it. Dorothy says, I have a brother and a very old singer. And Paula says, way to go. Congrats, Benita. Yes. So, yeah. So, I wanted to talk about that. I did sew Monday on a t-shirt quilt. And Sunday night, y'all know I sewed with you all on Saturday on the quilt. Got the final blocks made. Sunday, I'm laying in bed because I told y'all I was taking off Sunday because it's been just a lot going on. And I'm laying in bed, and I had sent a lady this note and hadn't gotten any response. So I'm thinking it ain't gone through my email or whatever. So I'm still working on the quilt in the interim. I've tried sending it like 2 and 3 times and all of that. So apparently one of them must have got through. I'm chilling, and then on Sunday evening, I get a thing saying, can you put the fronts, when you have t-shirts that have the front and the back, can you put them next to each other or diagonally across or underneath each other so that they're close together and not scattered? And I said, I wasn't even thinking. I just wrote her back and said, a lot of the quilt has already been sewn. I said, but I'll see what I can do, because I had really forgotten. I'm thinking in my head, I only got rows 1 and 2 sewed together. I forgot about that. I had sewed all the pieces together into the rows that I could. I was just missing the blocks that I finished on Saturday. And so I was like, and then when I came in here Monday, I walked right back out because I had no desire to work on that quilt. Because initially I was thinking I could seam rip it out. And then when I came back in here Monday, like after 3 o'clock, I finally decided, okay, let's come in here and finish this quilt top. And I started to take the stuff apart. And then I realized I would be taking a lot of stuff apart. Also, I realized that I'm doing a custom set quilt that I'm not getting paid custom fees for. And then I also realized that these blocks are a particular size. They have to be where they are. There's nothing that I can do. And so I just decided I was not going to do that. And so I just continued to sew this quilt top together to get it done. And what I was doing, I'm sharing this information with you because if you sew for somebody, you might need this in the future. If somebody asks you to make a t-shirt quilt for them and then they don't give you any instructions, when I even wrote her back and say, tell me something about your daughter, tell me her favorite colors, tell me what she liked to do, what did she like animals, anything like that. And then she wrote me back all of these things, and that's how I knew what colors to pick, because otherwise she just dropped off shirts with no further instructions. And so had I not even used her daughter's favorite colors, which were purple, black, and blue. She loved cats, and she loved music and going to events. And so that's how I've come up with all the fabrics that I have chosen for this quilt, based on colors or based on theme. Now, if I had not have gotten that information from her, she would not even have been happy with the quilt, or she wouldn't have had any input. So I'm giving her input. And then when she tells me, she didn't tell me anything about them shirts. She just told me to make sure that the fronts and backs, she had 4 or 5 shirts put together that she wanted the fronts and backs of these shirts. And so I'm like, okay, I'll put them in there. And so some of them, the fronts and backs were small, so I made them a big block. And then some of them, they were already big, and so I couldn't put 2 together. So what I did was space the color, because they were, one was like a caramel color, or like a gold, that's kind of got some green in it, I guess. And so I was trying to space the colors out of the shirt, not necessarily put them close together. So my tip or is to ask people, do your shirts have to be in order, any particular order, if it has a front and a back? And I even went and added more of her shirts. And if she had wanted that quilt put together that way, I would not have been able to add in any additional shirts. And after I had thought about it, I said, I'm not ripping out all of this stuff, because it's about to drive me nuts now. Because all of these settings, these boxes, they're all color coded for different sizes. And when I start moving stuff up and down, that means I got to move something else out. And I don't have something else to move out. There was no way that I could get the shirts that were going to be together next door to each other and have them fit and be the same size. So just letting you all know. But I ended up writing her back after I got the quilt top done and told her that there was no way I could do that, because the quilt was already sewn. And if people want to put that type of input into something, they should tell you that before you start sewing. You left me with instructions just on what shirts you wanted in. She was very specific. I want front and back of these. I need all of these shirts. And if you can get these in, use these. And if you need some extras, then use this. So she had everything labeled very specific, but she wasn't specific about them shirts having to be together. So just be careful in the future. I got a little turned off and didn't even want to work on the quilt. And matter of fact, I just sewed the top together, and I have to put a 3-inch piece in order to make this the size I want. I need a 3-inch strip going across the top and bottom, but I don't need one on the sides. But I actually stopped working on this quilt because I wasn't happy anymore. Okay. So just be careful working on stuff for people. This shirt here, I actually added in because she had this in the use if you can. And I ended up using it as a fabric because it was just a plain shirt that she had a tie-dye. It was just a plain tie-dye shirt. There was no words on it. So I ended up using that. I added in the Bob Ross shirt, added in the Batman shirt. I added in about 5 different shirts because of the setting and the way that I knew I was putting them together. And I was like, you know what? This is a custom quilt. I've already used more stabilizer interfacings than I should have used. And I'm not charging for that because it's a bereavement quilt, But, yeah. She did write me back after I wrote her and told her that there was no way I can make any changes. She just said, well, that's okay. I really appreciate it. And she says, it looked like you're doing a great job, and I know it's going to be pretty when it's done. Because the same person that referred her to me was the person that referred the person that I did the Harley Treads quilt for. If you don't know about the Harley Treads quilt, you can check out the whole series of that on YouTube. It was a custom set quilt that I charged for. So yeah, so she knows that it's gonna be pretty anyway. So yeah, I'm just sorry that it's not exactly 100% what she wants, but she didn't have any idea of what she wanted. I just sent her a picture of me partially having it done, which I'm almost thinking I'm never going to do that again. I'm never going to I'll send them a layout, but I'm never going to send a picture of the quilt in progress anymore. And I do that so that people can be comfortable knowing that I'm working on their project and things like that. In the future, I'm just going to send them quilt layout and then I'm going to be done. Yeah. So I do have it all done. You all can't see it all here, but I just wanted you all to know I showed you every block on Saturday and every part of this quilt. So if you're wanting to see this quilt, the pieces, you can go look at Saturday's video because I only had row 1 and 2 sewed together. It's a total of 5 rows, and then I showed you all the individual block pieces because I had partial rows sewed together because my last remaining rows each had a block that was short. They were all, I think, the same size or about, and so I done those blocks last. So, but yeah, let me see who else has. So people are congratulating Benita. Thank you all. You all are so nice. I don't think anything else has happened. Want to make sure. And Claudette says, I think once she sees it, she'll love it. Yeah, I know she will. And then I even told her what the final plans was in case she wanted to change anything. I plan to use blue on the back. I plan to use music for the quilting. And then I asked her what was her daughter's name and also asked her to name the quilt because I told her every quilt has a label. Even if I'm making a commission quilt, if I'm making it from start to finish, the customer doesn't have any say in a label being on or off that quilt because I made it. So I'm always going to put my name on there. I don't even put my name. I put Teaquilts on there when I make a commission quilt. I don't even put my name. I just put Teaquilts LLC. And so that people know that a company made it, as well as I want it documented. And then I put the label. So my next thing is to make a label, and I don't ever put a finish date. I put a finish month. So that way I'm not like stressing myself out to get it done by a particular day. So I'll just put like November 2025 on it. And then I take that label and I put it onto the quilt top before I quilt it. So it's being quilted down. So if they want to take the label out, you've also got to take the quilting out. So I just think that's the only thing. I don't give people a choice on that. If you want something custom on your label, that's what you can have as a choice. You can't tell me that I'm not putting my name on the back of this quilt. So that's not up for debate. So that's kind of what that is. So I like the quilt. I just got to add, I had to pick the backing. So I did pick the backing. And I just was like done working on it. You know, it took everything I had. I was talking to Miss Vivian on the phone. It took everything I had Monday to get in here and sew on that quilt after I got that email on Sunday. I didn't even want to come in here and be bothered with it. So at least I got it done. So that's a good thing. The machine is just a tad dirty. I had cleaned it Saturday before I started sewing. Hello? I don't know. Oh, that must have been Paige. I forget Paige is in here. She's snoring. I forgot about that. So I just want to do a quick little clean of this machine. And then I'm going to put it up. This machine is not dirty at all. It's just like black fuzz. You know, anytime you have black fabric, you're going to end up with some black fuzz. That's all that's in here. So I'm going to get that all. And then hopefully Saturday, I will have my Bernina back into place. I forgot to share with you all that I was going to buy a hard case for that Janome, the little small Janome that I got from Diana at her Quilters sale, quilter stash sale. I bought a bag for it. I was going to end up buying like a hard case. And then I thought, you know, I kind of get tired of carrying the hard cases. They good protection for your machines. But when you're trying to carry them, all you have is the top carry handle, and they are a struggle. And then they can't change their size. And so I ended up buying like just a bag off of Amazon that said it would hold basic sewing machine, not your big sewing machines. But I ended up getting a bag, and then it has a carry handle, the 2 straps, and then it also has, and it's longer than the hard plastic thing when you're carrying just one thing. It has the 2 handles, and then it also has a shoulder strap, which I'm not sure if I'm going to be using the shoulder strap. I didn't even put the shoulder strap on because it's going to go in storage. But I'm waiting to put that in storage and sew on it until I get the parts from Sewing Parts Online that I ordered last Monday. Was it last Monday or Wednesday? Last Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday. And they just mailed them yesterday, okay? So it takes some people a long time to mail out your order. So, and I don't like that either. I want my stuff in the mail within 2 days. I got nerve. It's like, if you're not telling me, it's like you are making me assume that my order will be here quick, and it's not. So the nice thing about this Janome is that I did purchase some pre-wound bobbins, and I'm wondering if this same size will work on the brother, because I think they take the same size. Now, I haven't sewed on my brother, and it didn't get sewed on a retreat because I don't know what I did with the presser foot, and I thought it was in my back room, so I've kind of cleaned that whole back area up, and I haven't found it, and I almost feel like now it must be buried back here. So I'm gonna have to see if I can find my stuff for the brother. And so now I need I don't have one in here. I was gonna say I need like a towel. I normally have them in here, but I don't have one in here now. I must have got them dirty and took them out to wash and never brought them back. Do I have a napkin? Nope. I have a tissue right here. That's better than nothing. Let's see. It's not even open. I must have been showing this to y'all. It's not even open, but I'll open it now. And I just want to wipe some things off just from dust. And since it's still threaded, I guess we can go ahead and pull the bobbin thread up. So it'll be in here right. And we are going to be putting this up. Just wanted to wipe. Well, I can take this thread out now. Just want to wipe the dust off because I have been sewing on this thing for 4 months. So, but it's time for it to go. It has stayed way longer than I intended. I thought this thing was only going to be on here for like 2 weeks to a month at most, okay? It's been 4 months. It was the end of July, so, I mean the end of June, so the beginning of July that I've been sewing on this Juki, and while it's been fun, it's time for her to go. This don't go down any further. I thought this went down further. Does it lock in anywhere? I just want to make sure, because I would love to. Oh, yes, it does. There it go. Yeah. Go down further, and then I'll keep this little tissue so I can wipe where all of this stuff is. Put this back on there. So it's ready to go. I had already cleaned it really good, so I don't have to oil it. I oiled it Saturday. And I over oiled it. I had so much oil coming out of here. Helena says, your work is beautiful. Thank you. Betsy says, how is Miss Page doing? She down here snowing. I'm disturbing her talking. So I'm making noise and she thinks it's coming from the hallway. She thinks it's my husband, but nope, it's just me and her, because she fooled me and I thought it was my husband. Hi, TNLT Quilters. Her rent is paid too. That is Yolanda Riza. And Kim says, oh, yes. Diana's sale was fun. I got lots of great stuff at great prices. She was very nice fellow quilter. Yes, she is. She said, I wish I lived closer to St. Louis when she met me. She said she has, because I questioned, the second time I went back, I did question her about how she didn't know about Greenville and stuff. And then she found out she knew me before she knew Greenville. And she was saying she's just a loner quilter. She never joined any of the guilds or anything like that, because I knew they had a guild because the person who had ran the quilt retreat that was in Greenville, Illinois, also went to the guild meeting. So, yeah. The only other thing I got to do is I'm not going to put any extra bobbins in here, but I'm going to take, I've got like all of these pre-wounds in here. I normally have like 10 bobbins or something that I'll use at retreat. But I'm just going to put this bobbin up, the metal one. I'm actually going to move these around. I'm going to put all the metal ones in the back. And then I don't mind if people use my pre-wounds. You know, it'll be okay. I'm just putting all my metal ones in the back, and hopefully they'll leave my metal ones alone. And there are some empty metal ones if they don't understand the process, but I hope they'll leave my metal bobbins alone, because I'd like to keep my thread that's on those in case I need it for top stitching. Oh my goodness, I got more bobbins in here than I thought. I really do think these bobbins are very similar to the brother. I almost feel like they're the same bobbin. So I think I'm going to be able to use these pre-wounds on the so that's all I have to do now is I take that out so that I can put it up with the machine. This goes, and I've got a box of pre-wounds. I'm just taking one out because I had that completely filled, and I don't need it anymore. I had one extra, so I keep all of my pre-wounds in this drawer behind me for all machines. But I'll put, like, it's mostly pre-wounds for when I'm doing embroidery is when I mostly use pre-wounds. So I don't normally piece with them. This is the first time that I pieced with pre-wounds. And the actual thread that I used is Bottom Line by Superior Threads, just if anybody is interested. It's their L bobbins, if I'm not mistaken. So that'll be ready to go. I can cut this off, and I got to put thread up big time. I'm just trying to unplug it now. I still got to clean off the top, so I'm still a good chunk of the way from getting it off the desk, but we're almost getting there. The other thing that I sent out was retreat balances are due October 31st. I did not do monthly payments. I let people be adults this time. Send your money in, just long as your money is in by October 31st. if you sent a payment other than your $250 that had to be paid, something came off. My light went off. Uh-oh. Like, how did that happen? I haven't touched. Did I touch a light? Is that all the way over here? Yep, I guess it is. I must have ran out of a light switch or something. Okay. So, yeah, but retreat payments are due. I'm just trying to get cords. This is coming off. I might need to, I got Teaquilts Juki on there too. I try to make sure, keep track of this stuff. And I don't have any, I gave out reusable, what do you call those things? Card things at retreat, but I don't have any in here myself. So, but yeah, this been a nice run. I don't know what this red is on here. Don't know what that is. I had never used the Juki. I just used the Juki to make sure it sewed. Whoever sewed on it at retreat this year was the first person to actually sew on it. Okay. Oh, I see it now. It was right there. Saw a little space. I'm like, it's not quite reaching. And all right. So we can put all of this up. I don't think Juki just had a cover. I don't have a bag for this. So I may have to put this into a Teaquilts bag. And then I may have to either buy a bag, see what the length of this is. I guess I can see if this will fit in that bag that I bought for the Janome. Because then I could just go order the same bag. What was really nice was somebody sent me probably for my birthday, sent me an Amazon gift card. And so I only spent an extra $5. I think it was like a $30 bag. So I only had to spend $5. Hi, Clovis Gardner. Welcome to the chat. And I was supposed to go to Diana's house today to go sew on that Janome 9850 memory craft. Y'all, after driving yesterday in the rain, it rained all day yesterday. So I had 2.5 hours in the rain there, 2.5 hours back. And then while I was shop hopping to all of these places that was like within 45 minutes of where I was from the where I dropped my machine off. And then I'm shop hopping my way back in the rain. It rained the entire time. I was so sick of rain, I didn't know what to do. I woke up this morning at 5:30. It was raining outside. I texted her and I said, I am super tired. I drove in the rain all day yesterday. And even longer because it was longer than just my 5-hour drive with me shop hopping. So I was just exhausted. I was tired. And I was like, I don't feel like getting in a car today. So, yeah. So I'm going to go see her tomorrow and look at the machine. So, yeah, Juki come with the soft cover. Yeah, and the brother does too. But I am not, I need something to put this. I could just sit it on the shelf. Like, I don't have children. It's just me and my husband. But I like everything covered, enclosed, so that like I can put all the extra pieces with it if I can. I need this because I got to wipe. We're going to be getting off here in a minute, y'all. It's 8 o'clock. I'm just going to go ahead and do this final wipe because I think we're done. And it was a piece of tape up here. I don't know what that's. I guess that could have been from me using the masking tape doing machine embroidery. So I got that on here. Just got to clean everything up. Might be a little tape residue. Hold on. I got some water right here. It's not the machine, it's my table. So, yeah, it's just a table. But any other dust it gets, it will be from just sitting on the shelf. But I won't be redoing them. But they were wiped and cleaned when I put them up. I try to take care of the machines, and I always try to oil them before I put them up. But since I just oiled this one, I'm not going to do any more because I had so much oil it was dripping out before. So it should just be at its regular level now. So, goodbye to you, Juki. You've served me well for 4 months. I still got oil on the machine. I just threw that in the trash from me oiling it. I'm like, what is that? I just wiped it. Maybe I smeared it around when I wiped all the spaces that I could see dirt. Let me make sure. All right. So let me make sure there's nothing else in the chat before we cancel out for today. Claudette says, I hope you get the Janome 9850. See, you know what's stopping me from like 100% wanting it? I'm like at 95%. It doesn't have a knee lift. It does not have a knee lift. So that's the only thing that that I'm not like thrilled about, is that it doesn't have a knee lift. But it's like, if I'm getting it for embroidery, I mostly will be embroidering on it. However, it is like, it's not that supersized. Like, I really liked embroidering on the FOF, but the FOF was all the way out to here with the embroidery unit. And it's like, I cannot have you on this desk. I have nowhere to iron, nowhere to work. It just took up the whole desk. And I think that the memory craft is smaller and it'll fit up here without it being a problem. But I really did love the FOF. But I'm like, I have to take you on a retreat or something. You have to go out and have a good time because you need almost a whole table by yourself. So that's the only reason I wasn't like, but I do also want to, I've embroidered on Singer, Baby Lock, Bernina, the FOF, and then the Janome was the last one that I was interested in embroidering on just for comparison. And in my order right now, from the 4 that I have, I would say like from number 1 would be Baby Lock, because my opinion, Baby Lock is the easiest. And I'm sure that Brother is very similar. So I will not be probably buying a Brother embroidery machine unless it's like very, 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 very cheap. But it would be Baby Lock would be number 1. And then the FOF is number 2. Bernina is number 3. And Singer is number 4. And Singer was number 4. I actually enjoyed the embroidery process, but their software that they had, and you could only get information into the system via a card, which you had to have the card to hook up to your computer, and it made the embroidery I can't even embroider on it now because none of my software will run the software that Singer had. And I had the Singer XL 1000, and just recently we had a water flood and that machine got damaged, so it's a paperweight right now. I haven't pitched it yet. It's been sitting on the floor. I'm so disgusted with it that I don't know. I want to trash it, but I haven't kicked it out of my house yet. But it will be in the trash because I don't think I'm just going to collect broken machines. I have too much other stuff that need a place to live for me to be keeping a broke machine. So I've been trying to ignore that machine for right now. So yeah. So that's why Singer is number 4, and I haven't sold on the Janome yet. That would be number 5. So we'll see where that comes into play once I actually get, if I get, when I get, and if I put that into play, I'll see where that comes. So I've tried out 4 brands for machine embroidery. Now, I have not embroidered on Husqvarna Viking. I don't have that machine, and I'm not interested in buying a machine. The Viking Rose that I have, it did come with an embroidery unit, the Viking Rose, but it has card system too. And so I'm just not interested in anything that's got to have cards. I got to have, my baby lock Elagio has 3 1/4 floppy disk. I do have floppy disk. I do have an external reader. So I could technically embroider on that if I wanted to, but I don't. I want USB or a straight computer hookup, my laptop or something. But I mostly just use USB so I don't have to bring my laptop in here since my space is small. So I just prefer to use USB. So let me make sure everything in here is done. People are saying good night. So yeah. Talk with you guys on Saturday. That's from Francis. Sharon is here as we're leaving. Says she just landed in Indonesia on a textile trip. Girl, have fun. Awesome, awesome. She been moving around since she retired. I'm so happy for her. And Claudette says that she agreed that baby lock is number 1. The Janome is basic to the baby lock, but reliable. Okay, so then it might come in number 2, because my thing with embroidery is that when I cut that button on, how easy is it for me to go to get my design in there and then to get my design to stitching? And the Bernina, it's the same process, just copying from your, wherever your file is, to your flash drive, or you can hook up your computer if you want. It's the same system to the baby lock. However, when it's get time to how many steps it takes before you can hit the green button for it to start moving, yeah, baby lock is the easiest one, my opinion. So yeah, and that's what I'm rating my ratings on. How fast can I get to embroidery? How complicated is it to get to hitting the go button? So, but that's going to be it, guys. I will see you all. Kim, did you ever talk to Jason about whether or not you were going to be going to retreat or not? If you're still here, can you check with him on that? He had a solution to part of your problem. So, and I don't know if he's remembered to talk to you about it. Hi, Deborah. Bye, Deborah. I will see you all Saturday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time with the new baby. So, bye-bye, Juki. See you all later. You all stay safe. Be blessed, everyone, and quilt out.